Since reality abides in deception for far too long, and now their time is coming to an end. It's time to fight back, to wake up, and to begin an uprising. Now is a time for judgment.
This is a time for judgment. Welcome to today's show. I just have to mention that this video is not giving out any medical information whatsoever, so there's really no chance that you get a strike for medical misinformation, but I did get one a couple days ago. I had to appeal it, and it got reversed because the algorithm just pretty much reads anything that I upload as something controversial, apparently, at this point, so I highly recommend you subscribe to the backup channel. But this is no way about medical information. This is about what's going on in China. And the reason I'm doing this video is to show you the chaos that continues to ensue. Most people are completely unaware that China is still on lockdown. They are at COVID-0, which means complete lockdowns. And chaos is beginning to ensue there, finally, after 3 years. And a lot of the reason is, for starters, behind this story, where 10 people were killed in a fire because they were locked down in their residence, in their apartment building, and could not escape. Because people are locked down, and in a lot of cases there's armed guards in the hallway. In a lot of cases there's fences around the apartment buildings. So they're telling us that this is safer than getting the common cough and the sneezes. Huh? None of it makes sense, unless of course you know exactly what's going on. And I'll get into more about China in a few minutes, where for those who are skeptical about this channel, when you see how China is, I want you to remember that, because Bill Gates and all of our world leaders, they've all been complimenting China about how they handled it compared to how America handled it and other countries handled it, saying that they handled it the best, despite the fact that China now has supposedly, of course, record high numbers. It is so unreal. Take a look at what's happening over there. China has reported a new record high of COVID-19 infections of more than 31,000 cases, the highest since the virus was first detected in Wuhan in late 2019. Cities across the country are expanding lockdowns despite a recent announcement by Beijing to scale back its zero-COVID policy. In the central manufacturing hub Changzhou, zero-COVID fatigue and pay disputes have kicked off violent protests among workers at Foxconn's vast iPhone factory. They've been under COVID restrictions for weeks, but there will be no relief yet. On Thursday, 6 million people in parts of Changzhou were told to stay at home for 5 days and undergo mass testing.
14 days at one point, and then turned to 2 or 3
For more,
years.
let's go across to correspondent Fabian Kretschmer in Beijing. Fabian, Chinese authorities have promised more targeted measures as part of this zero-COVID policy. Do these current citywide lockdowns feel different than what people have so far experienced?
Well, if so, only slightly. Yeah, you could argue that now the lockdowns are a little bit more targeted. For example, here in Beijing, at least some parts of the population can still go out, can go on the street. That's better than compared with the lockdown in Shanghai this spring. But yeah, if you go out, then basically all shops are closed, schools are closed. So the bigger picture, I would say, is quite similar. We're back in lockdowns, and yeah, we're also caught up in this endless cycle of mass testing, quarantine, and lockdowns.
And we therefore see images of Foxconn workers clashing with riot police in the city of Changzhou. Have Chinese people reached their limit with the zero-COVID policy?
Yeah, I mean, the frustration, the anger is increasing, actually massively increasing. Interestingly, it's not so much the protest in Zhengzhou that the people are talking about because of the heavy censorship. The biggest eye-opener, the wake-up call for many Chinese is, interestingly, the World Cup in Qatar, the Football World Cup, because if you watch it on your TV from China, it's really a very surreal experience. Many of us are in lockdown here, and some of us cannot go out on the street, and then you watch on the screen, you see crowded stadiums, you see cheering fans, a lot of people without masks, and so people began to wonder and began to ask questions. Why are we still caught up in this situation? Why the rest rest of the world seems to have learned to live with the virus. I mean, this information that they get is basically contradicting the propaganda that always said that China is controlling the virus while it spreads out of control in the rest of the world, and we are basically the only country that achieved success. So many angry users, they posted on Weibo on their social media platforms and began to ask the critical questions.
It's a question that I've been asking you as well in the conversations that we've had, because China had promised a relaxation in the zero COVID policy, yet we're seeing these citywide lockdowns. Is it a case of implementation up to local officials? They decide how severe a lockdown is.
Well, to some degree, it's true that the more on the ground, the more local you get, the stricter is the implementation. That has to do with the fear of people, of the authorities to cause problems towards their bosses. But I would say by now it's quite clear that also the central government does not want an opening up. Today, they sent out a statement via the official news agency Xinhua saying that our new rules, the quote-unquote optimization of COVID rules, doesn't mean that we will do nothing, that we will let the virus spread. So it was really kind of a correction. And what it caused was really a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of confusion. Nobody really knows exactly where the way is going. But now it should actually be clear we're back to lockdowns, and zero COVID will be implemented as before, actually.
Large parts of Beijing have also entered lockdown, Fabian, the city where you are. What is it like being in Beijing right now?
Yeah, it's quite depressing, actually. Every day there are several hundreds of residential buildings that are getting sealed off. Many of us don't know whether we wake up tomorrow and then, find a lock in front of our doors or not. There are really very horrible stories. People worry that what happens if I have a medical emergency and but cannot go out to the hospital. Another Chinese woman in her mid-20s, she told me that she is now in a quarantine center because she tested positive for the virus. But before the health workers came to transfer her, she immediately took all the cat food she had in her home and spread it on the floor because she has 2 cats, and she's just hoping now that the cats will survive the time her being in a quarantine center, because she doesn't know when she can get back home, and her building is sealed off, her flat is sealed off. And I mean, those are the problems that many of us have to worry about, and as it seems, it will not get better in the next days.
Victor, anger is rising and tragedies are mounting, but China is showing no sign of budging on zero COVID. And for the second straight day, China reported its highest number of new COVID cases since the start of the pandemic, reporting more than 30,000 new cases. And authorities are responding with more lockdowns, mass testing, and quarantine. And people here are getting more and more frustrated. Adding to that anger is a fire that broke out in the capital of China's far west Xinjiang region on Thursday night. 10 people were killed and 9 injured in a fire at an apartment building. Most parts of Xinjiang have been under lockdown for more than 100 days. The deadly fire sparked nationwide outrage because widely circulated videos, which have now been censored in China, show that COVID lockdown measures very likely delayed firefighters from getting to the scene. State media claims that people in the compound were allowed to leave the building. However, videos show fire trucks unable to get close to the scene because the compound entrance was partially blocked. The video shows it's blocked with fences, tents, and metal barriers that are normally used as part of COVID measures. The video shows smoke and flames coming from a high floor of the building, but the water failing to actually reach the fire. What adds to the tragedy is that those who died in the fire likely spent their last 3 months largely confined to that building, if not entirely. This tragedy really struck a chord with the public here because these scenes of suffering and tragedy have played out over and over again since the start of the pandemic. So many stories of people struggling to get enough food, necessities, and emergency care in lockdown. 3 years into these harsh policies, frustrations are more frequently turning into protests, which are normally rare in authoritarian China. So last week in the southern city of Guangzhou, some residents revolted during lockdown by tearing down barriers and marching through the streets. Then there were violent clashes at the Foxconn factory in Zhengzhou this week. But still, there is no end in sight.
So they have record high numbers. People are burning in their apartment buildings. And of course, the citizens are trying to protest against this. But here's the big problem. Here's constitutional rights that we have, because those citizens over there are completely unarmed. And a bunch of men, military men in hazmat suits, are marching around with weapons, forcing these people to stay in their apartment buildings. Is this something people in America want? If you're a Democrat, is this what you want? Because the Democratic Party is in bed with China. They have sold us out to China, which means this would become a communist country. So for people who complain about capitalism because they're jealous because some people who work hard earn more and achieve more in this world, they want everyone to be on an equal playing field. It has nothing to do with equality of your skin color or man versus woman, because those are all facades that they create so that people ask for equality. It has to do with everyone earning the same amount based on nothing. And this means a communist state that looks like what you just saw. Now, the third anniversary of the outbreak just occurred, and China is reporting record infections. But Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, and many others have told us that what we need to do for the next outbreak is mimic exactly what China has done and is doing. Listen for yourselves.
Once the government was fully engaged in the second half of January, the idea of reducing that contact, the quarantine idea that goes back for a long time, that was done in a very serious way. And so that I'm very glad that worked, because that creates, at least for countries that are as rich as China or richer, it creates a model. They'll all do it in their own way. They won't do it exactly the same. That depends on the society. China was the first to have to deal with this. It's always hardest to be the country where something emerges first, because so little is known about it. But now, what China did is helping the rest of the world. Now that China's mostly back at work, some of the critical supplies, having China participate in providing those could make a huge difference.
So these people want us to emulate that. People burning in their apartment buildings because they're locked in with fences. That's no joke. And that's why I constantly am yelling about this, because I'm trying to wake people up. I know there's people who can't stand me, who don't, but you don't understand what they're doing as far as herding you into this. They're tricking you with hate speech, with not having equal rights. All these things already exist here. We have equal rights, but they want you to think that certain people get further than you because your skin color or your orientation as a man, a woman, or a trans, or gay, whatever it might be. It's all an illusion to bring about that society. And all the stuff you see going on at malls, at Walmarts, remember I told you all these events would occur in places where people go. It's not a coincidence that the thing at Walmart happened right before Black Friday, a place where most people go and everyone's going to be shopping for the holidays. They want to scare you into oblivion so that you go to them and you ask for people to lose their rights to bear arms. The reason that people like me want to bear arms is not because we have any intent to ever harm anyone. It's to prevent that. It is to prevent that from happening to us. And that's the whole reason that that constitutional right exists. In case that happens. And people look and they go, oh, that would never happen. What do you mean it wouldn't happen? They've already admitted that Biden's in bed with China. We've already seen how much of our land has been given to China. Our land. Have you ever heard of a country selling its farmland to another country? Like, yeah, where are you going? I'm headed to Wisconsin. Half the state is owned by Poland. What? Huh? People will be like, what? It makes absolutely no sense, but nobody cares because they're so distracted by nonsense. To Wisconsin, half the state country land is in bed with China. We've already seen how much of our land has been given to China. Our land. Have you ever heard of a country selling its farmland to another country? Like, yeah, where are you going? I'm headed to Wisconsin. Half the state is owned by Poland. What? Huh? People will be like, what? It makes absolutely no sense, but nobody cares because they're so distracted by nonsense. And this lockdown is never going to end for them. In fact, they're making it worse despite the fire, despite the rising cases. The cases they claim are through the roof. Now, we know what the cases are all from. Of course, That's how it all works. But they're telling you that, well, we've already been locked down for 3 years. Now we need to lock down even harder. Huh? And people are actually, this is a great thing. I want this too in America. I want it to be like China. I want it to be like that because people hurt my feelings with free speech. And I want people to be, everybody to get along and everything to be nice. And that world doesn't exist. Utopia.
Get to Kohl's for Super Cyber Monday deals. Earn more Kohl's cash on
Of equality. And it's never going to exist. It's not about them creating a utopian society of equality. It's about creating a society of control and enslavement. Enslavement like we've never seen before. Because anytime you think of slavery and enslavement, you think of certain events and certain things throughout history, it'll be nothing like that. Because back then, in those days where it supposedly occurred, people were still able to use their legs and they could get around and do stuff. They weren't stuck in a bubble. They weren't driving electric cars to get free. They could get on horseback and certain things. Oh, you aren't going to have any free will. You're going to have a carbon footprint where you can't move. These are the things that China is implementing. They want to emulate China. China has the social score. Do you see what's happening in America with the social score? How they want to bring it here? Behavioral control, question the government. You get dots points on your social score as if same as your credit score, right? If you have so much amount of debt or you don't pay your debt off, you have a worse credit score. It's the same thing. So what does that mean? Well, it means you can travel less. Because everywhere you go, you spend your points, your monthly credits to go. And if you're bad, you travel less. You don't travel at all. You stay enslaved. And they're getting people used to this stuff. So the latest breakout, they say, was inevitable in a large continental nation, given the increasing transmission of the virus as it mutates. Apparently, it's still mutating. China's particular problem is that its draconian zero-19er policy has left its people less protected with either the magic potion or natural immunity. For nationalist reasons, the Communist Party refused to accept Western vaccines that are more effective than China's homegrown ones. Oh, are they more effective in the West? Has anyone heard the most recent data about the percentage of people who are going bye-bye compared to the other percent? Yeah, you should probably look into it. That'll be the percentage of people in the West more effective than China's homegrown ones. Oh, are they more effective in the West? Has anyone heard the most recent data about the percentage of people who are going bye-bye compared to the other percent? Yeah, you should probably look into it. That'll be on the website. I'll talk more about that over there. But I can't go into great detail about this thing. All I can do is show you this is the blueprint that they have. And we have a country that nobody's talking about that's still doing this. Still. Could you imagine if we were still doing that here? It's already bad enough when you see the zombies walking around wearing masks. We got people dying in apartment buildings. They're not just locked in. People just think they're in there and, they can sneak out the window. They have armed guards walking the streets. And the only way that happens is when the civilians don't have the right to bear arms anymore. Because then they can take total control. Then there's no warfare. Then it's, you with the baseball bat versus them with an assault rifle. This is what we're headed towards if we allow them to continue to destroy the Constitution. So for people who are moved by these fake stories that they create to emotionally pull you in, come out of it. Because it's all bullcrap. If you're somebody who's moved by, they're picking on someone, hurting their feelings. These are the things that they're doing to trick you.
Bullcrap.
There's always going to be people that don't get along. There's always going to be somebody who can describe bullying, one way or the other. Like I can describe, I'm getting bullied when people strike my channel. Oh, they're 5 people strike my channel. I'm going to say, they're bullying me. Can I? Oh, why? Because it doesn't fit into the specific group. Well, aren't I in a specific group? I'm Christian. Oh, that doesn't count. All right, aren't I in a specific group? I'm a quote-unquote conspiracy theorist. No, that doesn't count. Oh, okay. So it counts towards you and how you feel now. But when crap hits the fan and you realize you made a mistake, it's going to be over. And people like me, we're not submitting to like those people in China. And I know a lot of people in this country, at least half this country, will refuse to live like that. The people in power need to be thrown out of power, but it's not going to happen because the Republican Party's just as bad. You know, you think about the government being set up, right? You know, how it was fair and all this stuff. Then somebody with zero to, why is it that we elect these people and they're like, they have billions of dollars, they're all millionaires. Nobody even thinks, they're like, you know, the president only makes $300,000 a year. That's not a lot of money in this world. No, you know, I'm not saying it's not like a lot of amount of money, but it's not a lot of money for the president of the United States to be making less than like a Google employee, is it? But these people have billion-dollar homes. They have homes in Nantucket. They have homes in Martha's Vineyard, multiple homes, and nobody goes, where do they accumulate their money from? And then when they run, you know, somebody up the road from you should be able to run for president. That's what a republic is supposed to be. But only the rich elites can run. And people think, oh, well, the Republicans are, they're not the rich elite. Of course they are. Both parties want the same thing, and they're psychologically working us into this. And the fact that we have a country that's still doing this stuff, and then we have all the people who come on TV in America, from Gates, you know, to Fauci, all of them come on and they tell us how great China is. Does that look great to you? If there's someone who doubts what's going on here, does that look great? Because that's what's next, and there's going to be another phase of this. If you think, the only reason they slowed up is there was a lot of pushback. They review the data, and then they're going to come back with more variants. That's what's going to end up happening. China didn't even need to go that route because they said, look, we already have everything in place. Nobody here owns guns. Okay? Nobody here has free speech anymore. We've already removed that. And their behavior is controlled by us. So we can lock them up. We don't need to say, oh, it's phase 2, it's another variant. Because we already have communism. And we already have enslavement. But countries like ours, they need to ease everybody in and constantly ease them in. But they don't want you to see what's going on over there. Why? Why do you think? Heard the stories about the Bidens in China and all that? Well, it's not just the Bidens in China. It's all the world leaders in China. They all are with this country, united with this country, because the New World Order is communist. It is controlled enslavement. So that hell that you see is what they want. And we have to be hell-bent against it. That's why we cannot give up our constitutional rights to these monsters, because that's what they will do to us. It's not just because, oh, they're really weird over in China that their government would do that, you know, or, oh, their governments, you know, they have stricter laws. They're not like America. But the people in power here hate us. They despise us, and the feeling is mutual. It really is. And the only way they can go forward with this is, one, disarming this country, and two, the other half, the liberal side of this country, enabling this to occur through stupidity, which is what they're doing. It's frightening. A reminder, please check out the website at timeforjudgment.com. If you haven't already, a lot of great information being shared over there. Appreciate everyone being here on YouTube. Frightening. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. God bless all of you and your families.